All right, hello, welcome to room 145. My name is Mr. Alexander, current resident of this room. Currently I teach physics, and let me orient you a little bit to what's here. When you walk in the door, there's a few things right here. Lights, a thermostat that you can't control, but will keep the room pretty cool, about 70 degrees or 20 Celsius. Phone to call out. There are phone numbers over here. And main office stuff is right over here. You'll find, principal office and things like that here. Dean here, and principal main office, generally 74322. And then these are teacher rooms, maps and stuff like that. These magazines right here are fair game. Students can have them if they want. They're all pretty recent and relevant. And if nobody wants them, you can toss them. Material station, we've got rulers, hot glue guns, some crayons, some colored pencils, a lot of glue sticks, and then in here is a whole bunch of markers. Are they perfect? No, but many of them work. Most of the stations have paper towels, so there's paper towels, paper towels, paper towels, paper towels, all the way on down the way there. What else? All the electrical works, so you can use that. Just be careful of plugging in a hot glue gun here. Not this one, even though it looks bad, at the end of these end stations, because they're kind of like snagging hazards as somebody walks by. So better to use the end terminals there. Let's see. As far as the boards go, please leave my equations there. But I'll try to erase that better, but you can write on the boards, either of these. There's markers and erasers that I've left there for you. There's also a chalkboard down there that works, and there's some chalk in there. Physics textbooks are here if you need them, and if you don't, great. Chairs abound. The tables have marks on the floor where they go. Let's see, maybe you can see that right there, and then that little half circle, that little half circle, that little half circle right there. This is where all the tables go to kind of keep them lined up. And if you have students put up chairs for sweeping at the end of the day, put them up oriented like this, facing sideways. Not facing forwards, because they won't fit and they will fall off and hurt somebody. This is gas, it's off. There's a main shut off that's off for the summer, so don't worry about that. The sinks do work, and sometimes they get filled up with junk, so just heads up. Also, it takes a moment for the water to come zipping out. And if you're feeling brave, you can kind of get in here with like your finger or a stick and knock the dust loose, and then it will in fact drain. See? If you want to wash your hands like I do right now, our main sink over here does have soap. And if you run out of paper towels, you can borrow them from a bathroom. This is the air filter. Turn it on. If you put it on 2, nobody will ever hear it. And then if you put the timer on like 4 hours, it'll just kick off after 4 hours, and it's a nice little thing. Just make sure nobody puts stuff on here and the kids aren't hovering over it, because stuff will fall in there and then it'll get in the mechanism. Computers and stuff. All right, so this is our class computer, my class computer, and it's plugged in. It's plugged into the stereo. It's plugged into the projector. If you want to use your own projector, go ahead. You can just unplug this USB. I would advise not messing around with anything else. If you need an adapter, because this is a USB-B, then you could probably get one from the tech folks. Excuse me. And I even actually have one on the printer over there that you could borrow and just move over here. You can sign me out, all right? Sign yourself in, turn on the projector. Don't mess with any of this stuff or the keystone. It's already set. All you got to do is just open this guy up, boop, turn it on, give it a sec. And let me show you what the projector looks like. With the lights off, it's easier to see. So you get this whole space, and when the chairs are down, pretty much unobstructed view. And if you need to, just move this around, of course. Did I just unplug it like a bozo? Maybe I did. Okay, I think I did. Anyway, that works great. Let me turn the lights back on. All this trash and stuff should be gone by the time summer school starts. I'm just waiting for them to pick it up. This desktop does work, but it's kind of slow. The scales back here work, but you have to teach students how to use a beam balance if they don't know. This is another air filter. It works. It's a little bit rough. Need some new filters, but it does work. It's already plugged in. Just turn it on. Up here, if you put it on 1, you can barely hear it. If you put it on 3, it's super loud. If you could not squish this, we use this for physics every year. These are glued on. This is also glued on. Feel free to use this. Hall pass, feel free to have students use this. I worked really hard to get these, so if you wouldn't mind taking good care of them, and if you let students sit in them, that's cool, but like don't eat in here, there's rats. And like don't put their feet up on the furniture or like move these all over the classroom. I had to hustle hard to get furniture, and I'd like to make it last a few more years. Okay, lastly, here's the printer. If you want to use it, you got to plug in. This is the adapter I was talking about. This computer does work, but it's not on. So if you want to use the printer, turn it on, plug this into your computer, and then find this computer, or this printer, sorry. You'll find it in your list of stuff, and usually it'll say in parentheses USB at the end of saying this, because there's a whole bunch of these on campus. That's about it. It's my kids' artwork, so I wouldn't imagine anybody's gonna mess with that. Most of the cabinets are locked, so that should be fine. A couple of them are not, so just heads up if you have students kind of like fiddling around in the corner. Yeah. Oh, and then there is an Elmo if you want to use that. It does work. And it's plugged into this pluggable, so you should be able to access that somehow. All right, I think the projector is back to life. Okay, that's it. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. This is my email address. Oops. There we go. And that's me, Josh. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. I do check my email probably like once a day, and I'd be happy to help you out. Good luck. Take care. Thanks for taking care of the room.